Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are reacting to the SAG nominations and the DGA nominations. Figured we'd react to both of these together since they're both pretty short, only a couple categories in each body that we're going to go over. Obviously last night I did see the fires that starting out in Los Angeles, and I did see right before I went to bed I saw an announcement about the SAG nominations. They weren't going to do them live, they were just going to post the press release. So I've found the press release here, but also before really get too far into it, do want to say that just thoughts with the people in California and in the Los Angeles area that are affected by these fires. It's crazy. A couple years ago, I guess it's almost been 5 years now, I used to live in Paradise in Northern California, one of the cities that was affected by wildfires, and pretty much the entire city kind of burned down. So I know that it's a really devastating and gut wrenching thing that's happening out in California. So thoughts with everyone out there, and hopefully when there are some, the links of where you can donate to help those that have been affected by this wildfire, if you're in a place to do so, I'm sure, obviously will be greatly appreciated if anything that you can help spend to help with these people, people that have been displaced and have lost their homes and lost everything in these fires. Obviously, just a gut wrenching thing, and it kind of is weird to still try, care about these reaction, or the nominations to these awards. And obviously it's kind of the less important thing. So just thoughts are with those affected by the fire. And so I'm on the Screen Actors Guild website here. I've scrolled all the way down to the bottom, so we're going to go. I'm hoping that they kind of did it, like ensemble up top, and so I can kind of react from the bottom up. So let's see here. It looks like the first award we see here is Stunt Ensemble, and we're going to do the same thing that I've done in my other reaction videos, where I'll show you my predictions first, and then we'll go over what actually got nominated. So for Stunt Ensemble, I predicted Dune Part 2, The Fall Guy, Gladiator 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think those were kind of the four that were like really high, like were kind of almost like the locks. And then I think the fifth slot that a lot of people were picking as a lock was Furiosa, and I think it was actually like second or third. I think at least on the Awards Expert app, Brother Bros app. And I just, based off of everything that's happened to Furiosa this award season, like I don't see how you could have predicted it. So I went with Wicked. That was my pick here for the fifth slot for Stunt Ensemble. So let's see. The actual nominees were Deadpool and Wolverine, Dune Part 2, The Fall Guy, Gladiator 2, and Wicked. So yeah, it was the simple thing of, if you were paying attention and saw that Furiosa was just getting blanked, the entire this entire award season, that was the easy one to predict that was gonna miss. Male actor in a supporting role. So my predictions were Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, Clarence Macklin in Sing Sing, Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown, and Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2. And you'll see on the graphic that's shown here my predictions. It's in order from most confident to least confident that's getting nominated. I think obviously you've got the two locks in Kieran Culkin and Guy Pearce, and then Clarence Macklin. I again, I haven't seen Sing Sing, but I've heard great things about him, and I've heard great things about the movie, and so I'm wanting to kind of just keep the faith and believe that he still has a chance. And I think this is an important nomination for him to like really kind of cement that he's in the five. So I'm still putting him in there. Edward Norton, I feel pretty confident is happening, and then Denzel is the one where I think the fifth slot is kind of like a kind of up in the air, and I think I just kind of went with Denzel because he's the more established, I think, out of a lot of the other people that I could have been picking from for this fifth slot. So that's where I went with the five. So let's see the nominees. We've got, I'm sorry, Jonathan Bailey in Wicked, Yura Borisov in Anora, Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice. Okay, so Jonathan Bailey kicked out Guy Pearce, and I'm now looking back at my. So yeah, so I didn't go Yura Borisov in supporting actor, so that's also, and then I didn't go. So I only got. Did I just get? No, okay, I got Edward Norton. So Bailey, Borisov, Strong, and I had Macklin, Norton, or Macklin, Pierce, and Washington. Okay, so I think I guess I kind of brushed over your Borisov because I kind of just thought that maybe he wasn't going to make it just because Honora was getting blanked at the Globes, and so I was kind of thinking, okay, maybe there's a little bit we're treading down on Honora. Your Borisov isn't as established as a Denzel Washington, and so that was part of the reason why I left Yura Borisov off. But Jonathan Bailey is breaking my brain. Um, every year there's like a nomination or two at a various awards show that means nothing in the grand scheme of it. Whether it be like Adam Sandler, I think was it for SAG too, and I feel like it's usually at SAG there's like a nomination or two, but like when Adam Sandler got in for like Hustle, there's always one or two of those nominations that just don't really mean anything. I think that's what the Jonathan Bailey one is. I'm just kind of disregarding that. Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice makes me think that SAG likes The Apprentice, and we're going to talk about that more in a second. Okay, that's a wild category. Scrolling up, I see female actor in a supporting role. So let me pull up. Okay, so my predictions were Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Isabella Rossellini in Conclave, Margaret Qualley in The Substance, and for the fifth slot, I went with Ingenue Ellis Taylor for Nickel Boys, partially because I wanted Nickel Boys to get something here. I felt like it was do something, and then also just looking at this fifth spot for supporting actress, it just kind of feels like there's a couple. I don't know. There's a lot of different people that could be coming in and getting these nominations, and so I felt like this is where maybe you'd see Ingenue Ellis Taylor kind of sweep in and get one. I'll also mention I wasn't super confident about Margaret Qualley. It didn't feel necessarily like a SAG nominated performance. Like I don't think they would nominate it, but I also just kind of was at the same time was if I don't pick her, then I'm only picking one nomination for The Substance here, and I just felt like it would get a little bit obviously better than one, and this is the only other spot you can nominate The Substance because you're not giving it a ensemble. So that's what I went with. Now let's check out the nominees. It is okay. It's Monica Barbaro, A Complete Unknown. Jamie Lee Curtis in The Last Showgirl. What I okay, I know what The Last Showgirl is solely because of Pamela Anderson getting a couple nominations and because of the Miley Cyrus song that got nominated at Globes, I think. Other than that, I don't know what The Last Showgirl even is. I did not know Jamie Lee Curtis was in it. Danielle Deadweiler for The Piano Lesson. Ariana Grande, Wicked, Zoe Saldana, Amelia Perez. Okay. Um. Huh. Okay. So Danielle Deadweiler, I think she was the one that was kind of in the fifth slot on awards expert, like a lot of people are predicting her. I just didn't think it was going to happen, so that's why I dropped down, and that's where I um, grabbed Ingenue Ellis Taylor. So yeah, Margaret Qualley misses, Isabella Rossellini misses, and you could say Ingenue Ellis Taylor misses, but that was kind of the wild card pick I had anyway. Okay, so Monica Barbaro, Jamie Lee Curtis, Danielle Deadweiler. Okay, well, I think that means Pamela Anderson is probably getting in, right? Because you're not nominating Jamie Lee and then not nominating Pamela Anderson. Monica Barbaro. That also means that A Complete Unknown is probably locked for ensemble now. Um, does Monica Barbaro have a chance at the nomination at the Oscars? Because this is something I've been thinking about is like A Complete Unknown. I think at the beginning of the Oscar race season was kind of like a lot of people's like 13, 12, 11, kind of in that range, and then all of a sudden people have, once A Real Pain kind of dropped out, that's when people have moved in A Complete Unknown. And I kept thinking about it where I was like, are we just picking A Complete Unknown for like picture, actor, and I guess maybe screenplay? Is that a screenplay nominee? I don't know, but I'm like, is this something that we're only predicting for two? And I kept thinking, I'm guilty of this, doing this all the time, and it's probably not the smartest way of kind of thinking about nominations, but sometimes I'll think about Best Picture nominees and think like, okay, what are all the other nominations it's going to get? And then when you come away with something like like Women Talking or something where you've got one, it's like a picture and screenplay, and that's all you're nominating it for, and it kind of feels weird. It feels like you need to squeeze it into a couple more spots. So I've been thinking that way with A Complete Unknown. So you might convince me to put Monica Barbaro in there for supporting actress if that's a thing that's happening. Um, so that's crazy. It was the top two. It was Grande and Saldana, and then everything else was just a wild card. That is, these have been insane nominations so far. Next is male actor in a leading role. I went with Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet, A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, Ray Fiennes in Conclave, and this is where I said we were going to talk about the Apprentice again. I went with Sebastian Stan in the fifth slot because I didn't know if Daniel Craig was going to happen here. I just with it I don't know if it's I just have a hard time seeing that being the performance or like that being the fifth slot at the Oscars, and so I kind of was like just playing around with the fifth slots. I also just didn't want to just go straight top five, which that would be if I went Daniel Craig. So that's why I picked Sebastian Stan, and after picking Sebastian Stan, I then went back and forth 15 times debating if I was putting him in for a different man or if I was putting him in for The Apprentice. At the last second, I just kind of felt like The Apprentice has just been dead, but I still wanted to put Sebastian Stan in, so I put Sebastian Stan in for a different man, fresh off of the Globe win. I just thought that maybe there is something there. Maybe this wasn't just some kind of like Globes fluke, you know? So I ended up going with Sebastian Stan for a different man. I really wish, and I shouldn't have told you that because you're just seeing the picture. I could have easily convinced you that I picked Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice because I think that's happening now if Jeremy Strong got in. So let's see. It's Adrian Brody, Timothy Chalamet, Daniel Craig. Never mind. All of that was for nothing. Forget I said anything. Coleman Domingo, Ray Fiennes. Okay, so every other category, or the other two acting categories, have just been complete, you know, insanity. And then male actor, they go 5 for 5. Okay, interesting. I wonder if they're going to do the same thing here with female actor. So I went for female actress. I went Demi Moore for The Substance, Mikey Madison for Honora, Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, and then in the fifth slot, I keep doing it. I keep picking Nicole Kidman to either get nominations or to get wins, and it's not happening. And for some reason, I keep doing it solely because I just feel like there's got to be some kind of crazy thing here, which now I'm looking at it, it's going to be Pamela Anderson. Yeah, I could get rid of Nicole Kidman, it's going to be Pamela Anderson. But yeah, I felt like something was going to happen here, and I wanted to go. I just felt like Nicole Kidman felt like the safest of like the veteran actresses. But let's see, it is Pamela Anderson, Cynthia Erivo, Carla Sofia Gascon, Mikey Madison, Demi Moore. Yeah, I should have done like Nicole Kidman slash Pamela Anderson because I was debating them both, but I felt like Nicole Kidman was way more likely than Pamela Anderson, and all of that was because the fifth slot I wanted to do something crazy because it was Angelina Jolie was still like the fifth pick. It was still like people were still picking her, and I just have kind of gotten the feeling, even like before she lost at the SAG and before she wasn't nominated at the long list for BAFTA, I just felt like there just hasn't been any passion. No one cares about Maria, so I just didn't like think that Angelina Jolie really had any shot. So that's why I wanted to go with something crazy. I thought Nicole Kidman was the crazy pick, but I should have gone Pamela Anderson. Okay, and then the last category here for the SAG nominations is Best Ensemble, and this is one. So I went Amelia Perez, Wicked, Conclave, Honora, and then the fifth slot. I think a lot of people. I think like Dune Part Two was in a lot of people's predictions. Um, I think some people were maybe picking The Brutalist, but the number one, the thing most people were predicting was Sing Sing, and I think a lot of people had it pretty high up. I just got the sense that I don't know why. I just felt like A Complete Unknown felt like a safer pick than Sing Sing because I wasn't sold on Macklin, and so I kind of had the realization of I was like, Macklin maybe doesn't make it, and then can you not put Macklin in, but then also still give it ensemble? And at this point, I didn't realize that Monica Barbaro was going to get in for A Complete Unknown, but I just thought that Timothy as the lead in potential like winning category was strong enough, and then so many other because of Barbaro and because of Fanning, and because of I guess I still was predicting Norton. So I knew that there were so many other kind of supporting characters and so many supporting pieces in A Complete Unknown that I just felt more comfortable in predicting that. So that's what I did. That was my five, was Amelia Perez, Wicked, Conclave, Honora, A Complete Unknown, and the nominees: A Complete Unknown, Honora, Conclave, Amelia Perez, and Wicked. So that's a perfect 5 for 5. So I had, what was that? I had the ensemble and the stunt ensemble. I went 10 for 10 between those two categories, and then it was just a wild mess for the acting categories in the middle. Um, so yeah, that's a crazy set. I'd have to think. I don't know what this means necessarily for, like, let's look at it. Yeah, let's look at it. So who do I think is gonna win? If I had to make a prediction right now, who's winning SAG? Wicked, right? Why am I thinking? Jonathan Bailey got nominated. It's got to be. Well, so what is that? So three acting performances for Wicked got nominated, so they got four nominations total. Same with A Complete Unknown, three acting, four total. Honora got two acting, so three total. Conclave only got the one; it just got Ray Fiennes. And then Amelia Perez got two. So I mean, it's maybe, is it a toss up between A Complete Unknown and Wicked? I mean, at that point, if that's what you're going, I think it's Wicked. Wicked's gonna win. So that means Ariana Grande is probably gonna win. But A Complete Unknown getting all the support means Timothée Chalamet is probably gonna win. So that's gonna make the lead actor and supporting actress races a little bit more fun moving forward. I mean, does Demi Moore? I think part of me is kind of getting the feeling after the Globes, Demi Moore could be a sweeper. She's probably not. She's gonna lose. Nora's or Mikey Madison's probably gonna win something. But I'm like, if they loved Wicked so much, does Cynthia Erivo have a shot? Is this just gonna be like a Wicked sweep? Obviously, Jonathan Bailey's not winning, regardless of even if the other three win for Wicked. But that's crazy. Yeah, I'd have to like really kind of think about this a little bit more and see if there's more complete thoughts I have on these nominations. But yeah, does this mean? Does this mean? Because yeah, I mean, the Brutalist, I guess. I mean, because you had three performances that were nomination worthy, but Guy Pearce missing, and the Brutalist only gets one nomination. Is that something, like, only one nomination at SAG? Is that something that correlates? Like, do films have success? I guess I'd have to look up, like, Coda and Parasite were the first two that came to my mind of recent Best Picture winners that probably didn't have great turnout at SAG. But I'd have to go back and look and see, because like, did Parasite even get nominated? Did it get like a Best Picture or a Best Ensemble? I want to say Coda won, I think, Ensemble, but was it just Troy Kotzer and Picture, or did it get I forget her name, the lead actress. Did Marlee Matlin, I think, did she get nominated here? Anyway, that's a completely different just tangent. I'm trying to like think of, like, process what this means. But so those were the SAG nominations. Now let's take a look at the DGA nominations. There's two categories here, and I'll say that I forgot to take screenshots of them last night, my predictions, because I didn't even think I was going to do a reaction on this, but I figured it's just two categories, so I can react to it. So I didn't take any screenshots, but I do know what I picked. So let's see. The first category, it's the first time theatrical feature film category. So my predictions here were Ramel Ross for Nickel Boys, Shang Wang for Dee Dee, Pael Kapadia for All We Imagine Is Light, Greg Quidar, is that how you say his name? Quidar, for Sing Sing, and then Malcolm Washington for The Piano Lesson. Let's see what was nominated. Okay, so we've got Pael Kapadia for All We Imagine Is Light, Megan Park for My Old Ass. Didn't Megan Park direct what was the name of that movie that was on Max with Jenna Ortega? Why can't I think of what that movie was called? But yeah, she directed that Jenna Ortega movie, The Fallout. That's what it was called. How is she in theatrical feature film first time? yeah, she has an okay, whatever. Ramel Ross for Nickel Boys. Um, so I'm gonna butcher this name. Hofdan Ullman Tondel for Armand. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what that is. I'll have to look up what Armand is. And then Shang Wang for Didi. So that's great. I feel like probably Pael Kapadia ends up winning this. Oh no, Ramel Ross probably is the front runner. Okay, but then let's go to the other category is just best director. So I went with Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, Sean Baker for Nora, Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez, Coralie Fargette for The Substance. I felt like those were kind of the four locks, the gimmies. And then I still went with Edward Berger for my fifth slot. I initially, when I did it, I put Ramel Ross because at first I was going through and I just went best film is the first category on awards expert you're picking, so I went with Ramel Ross, and then I realized the next category is directing first film and saw Ramel Ross was there, so I felt like maybe they'll just put him here and they'll spread the love. I feel like they kind of do that at DGA, so I kind of just defaulted back to Edward Berger. I just Denis Villeneuve was another one that obviously deserves some consideration, but it feels dead to me. Like I just don't see dude doing anything. So then let's look. The nominees were Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez, Sean Baker for Nora, Edward Berger for Conclave, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, and James Mangold, a complete unknown. Whoa. Okay. Um. So what missed? Oh, it was Coralie Farget missed for The Substance. Um. I guess I don't know the DGA as a group very well. I don't know if that makes sense. If this is not the type of film that they nominate. Um, hmm. Okay, but I'm not too worried about that. Should I be for Coralie Farge? It definitely puts her in. I think Edward Berger is maybe more safe than Farge now, which is Edward Berger. I think is a lot of people's kind of like 4 or 5. So maybe I need to bump him up to yeah, he's probably firmly in 4 now because Jacques Audiard, I think, deserves to be top 3 at this point with Sean Baker and Brady Corbet. But but James Mangold, that's what I need to really think about right now. James Mangold, he didn't get nominated for Ford v Ferrari at the Oscars. Did he get nominated at DGA for Ford v Ferrari? Did he get nominated like anywhere for that? Um, do I have to consider James Mangold? Is this like a late director player? I don't know. I feel like he's been the only reason I'm like really considering it. He's been so out of play. I feel like all kind of award season that you're just not even thinking about him. But like I just said in when I was breaking down the SAG nominations, that I felt like a complete unknown was sneaking up and it was gonna get an extra nomination or two that we aren't predicting, because I think Complete Unknown at this point, especially now, I would say Complete Unknown is probably like a top 6-ish contender for Best Picture now. Like I was talking at the beginning about it sneaking into people's tens, but now it's like it's got to be higher than it's past A Real Pain, it's past Sing Sing, it's past Nickel Boys, it's probably past The Substance, it's probably past Dune Part 2. Like a Complete Unknown might be like a top 5, 6 contender for picture already. Um, oh my, that is okay. I don't even know. Like, I don't have complete thoughts on like what this means. I'll have to like really kind of consider this and start thinking about this. What does that mean for the entirety of the awards race? That's crazy. Well, that's the reactions. That's the SAG awards and the DGA awards. Thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of these nominations. If there was any big surprises to you, any big snubs that made you mad, just let me know what you think down below. And then make sure to like the video and then subscribe to the channel if you're interested in following along this award season. I'm gonna try and make sure I do kind of like these reactions to nominations and winners for all of the different bodies. So excited to really kind of put more effort into this award season than I did last year, at least pre-Oscars. Once the Oscar nominations roll around, you'll see the channel's going to be full of content for you. But again, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.